Good evening, folks, or afternoon, folks. This afternoon's topic D is a healthcare narrative that I made for you all, and we're discussing healthcare has been America's job engine. That's about to change, folks. Healthcare system falls apart, at least in every state has issues in their healthcare system. So I'm going to discuss that for D for you. So here we go. Let me get set up, guys. For years, healthcare has been the one sector Americans could count on. When when factories closed, when offices when office parks emptied, and when retail stores papered over their windows, healthcare kept hiring. It became the country's fallback employer, the engine that never stalled. Uh, the the ballast that kept the labor market from tipping into recession. But the engines, even the most reliable ones, can run hot or can run hot for only so long before the strain becomes visible. You can see it now in the places where the system is stretched thinnest. A rural hospital that quietly freezes hiring. A nursing home that closes two wings because it can't staff them. A major health system announcing restructuring, a word that has become a euphemism for thinning the ranks of the very people who hold the system together. A home health agency turning away patients because it has no aides left to send. These are not isolated stories. They are early signals of a structural shift. Healthcare's era as America's unstoppable job engine is ending. The boom was never infinite. Healthcare's growth was powered by two forces: demographics and desperation. The demographic wave was predictable. As baby boomers aged, demand for care surged. More chronic illness, more surges, more medications, more long term care. The system expanded to meet that need, adding millions of jobs across hospitals, clinics, nursing homes, and health home health agencies. The desperation was less visible but just as powerful. As other sectors shed workers, healthcare absorbed them. It became the employer of last resort for entire regions. In many rural towns, the hospital is not just the largest employer, it's the economic heart of the place where people find work, insurance, and a sense of stability. But the wave is cresting. The oldest boomers are already in their 80s. Demand will remain high, but the rate of growth is slowing, and the workforce pipeline, the human machinery that makes healthcare run, is thinning. The limits of human labor. For years, the system expanded by adding more people, more nurses, more aides, more therapies, more schedulers, more billing staff. But the workforce has reached a breaking point. Burnout is no longer a warning sign, it is a structural condition. Retirements are accelerating, training pipelines are shrinking, immigration constraints are tightening, younger workers are choosing other fields. Even if demand keeps rising, the system cannot keep adding jobs at the same pace. There simply aren't enough people, and the jobs that remain are changing. Automation is reshaping administrative work. AI is rewriting workflows. Hospitals are consolidating. Nursing homes are closing. Healthcare agencies are rotating care because they cannot hire enough staff to deliver it. The job engine is not stopping, but it is shifting gears. And now the new gear is slower, linear, and more specialized. The consequences will not be evenly felt. Urban academic centers will adapt, large systems will consolidate and survive. But rural communities, the places where healthcare is both Employer and Lifeline will feel the tremors first. When a rural hospital cuts jobs, the effects ripple outward. Local businesses lose customers, schools lose families, and tax bases shrink. Young people leave, older adults are left with fewer options and longer drives for care. A shutdown in healthcare hiring is not just a labor story, it's a community story, a demographic story, a story about the fragility of places that have already lost too much. The moral question beneath the economic one. We have built a healthcare system that depends on human labor to absorb the failures of every other sector. When the economy falters, healthcare is expected to catch the falling workers. When families struggle, healthcare is expected to fill the gaps. When social supports erode, healthcare is expected to hold the line. But people doing that work, nurses, aides, social workers, therapists, home health workers, are exhausted. They are leaving, and the system is losing the very workforce that made it the nation's job engine in the first place. The question now is not whether healthcare will keep growing. It will. The question is whether it can grow in a way that is sustainable for the give me 1 second. For the workers, the patients, and for the communities that depend on it, a new engine is needed. If healthcare can no longer carry the weight of the nation's job growth, we must confront the reality that America has no backup plan. We need new engines in caregiving, in infrastructure, in climate resilience, in community health, in long-term care, sectors that create jobs while strengthening the social fabric. Healthcare will remain essential, but it cannot remain the only pillar holding up the labor market. The engine is changing. The work now is to make sure it doesn't stall. Because when healthcare falters, it is not just an economic problem. It is a human one. And the cost of ignoring that truth will be paid by the people who can least afford it, the sick, the aging, the rural, the poor, and the workers who have already left. Okay, guys, so that is your D for now. For now, Gator Wellness. Take care, folks.